this far in the playoffs, that's a big game. If they're on right after, they're doing, even at 11:30, man, they're doing a big number. The problem is that I think they're doing a 1 hour post game show, which will still give them a good lead in, but it's not like they're going to get like the lead in of 7 million viewers and do like a monster number. So whatever happens. That's just the deal.
Mercedes and Tony had their face-to-face, and yes, they both came off as huge stars, made it feel like a very big match, and essentially, they both vowed to win. Mercedes said, "I am the greatest of all time," and Tony says, "I believe you are the greatest of all time, but unfortunately for you, I happen to be timeless." And
that line got a big pop.
Mercedes said, "You deserve for your time to come to an end. It's going to happen at All In." So Mercedes offers a handshake. Tony gives it to her, then kisses her hand. Mercedes attacks her, tries her finish. Tony avoids it, tries her finish. Mercedes avoids it. They both leave. A very good final segment, and a lot of viewers. They saw this as a real big deal, and that's good news. So
yeah.
This show, good first hour, good last half hour, kind of hit and miss in between.
Yeah, but I thought overall the key stuff worked though.
Yes.
I mean there's 3 people who busted their nose though, which is never a good thing.
Then we had the NXT show, which was very newsworthy because it opened up with Ricky Saints, Ethan Page for the title, and they have this wild brawl, and Ava comes out and says there must be a decisive winner, but doesn't add a stip or anything.
Okay, so here's
the announcers are baffled. What does that mean?
Okay, so this is when it's really weird. They go outside. They're about, whatever it is, a minute, 2 minutes into the match. They're brawling outside. The referee counts 10. He never rings the bell. They're still brawling outside, and then Ava goes, "This match will continue." And it's like, it never ended. So then they go back and have the match, and they do it again. And, but eventually, Ethan Page wins when Ricky gets I guess the big thing was
he dropped his neck over a chair and injured his larynx. And then snapped his neck over the top rope at the end and gave the twist of fate and pinned him. So Ricky Saints is beaten.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe on his way up.
I think he's going to the main roster.
Yeah. I think 3 people on this show are likely heading to the main roster.
Well, Vicaire to Raw and Grace to SmackDown is it's been said elsewhere, and it was sort of confirmed to me in the basic wording of it looks that way, which... So it's probably happening. So yeah, that's the basic. They all should be on the main roster. I mean, Vicaire is way too over to not be taken advantage of fully, and Grace didn't leave TNA to do NXT. She left to go on the main roster, and she did well in NXT. And obviously, if Ricky Saints was going to stay in NXT for a long time, it's not necessarily a step up for him. I think he wants that step up.
We had a Santana video package. Briggs and Inamura vow to win the tag titles and more, Inamura says, whatever that means. We had Santana and Tavion Heights. People were really into Santana. And
they were.
They had a good match. He got the win, discus lariat. And they hugged afterwards because they respect each other. Charlie Dempsey, however, was disgusted.
I like Tavion Heights. I really like him.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I saw him in Bloodsport, and carries himself well, super athlete, I think, good size. He's deceptively bigger. And you can tell it when he's next to Mike Santana. He's just a big, thick guy. He's a real heavyweight. And well-conditioned, obviously, Olympic-level wrestler. You're going to be well-conditioned. But moves well, and has some charisma and, very good moves. I mean, he would be a guy who would be absolutely perfect for New Japan. It's not necessarily WWE. I don't know that he's perfect for it, but there's more money in WWE. But yeah, he reminded me of somebody that big, really good wrestler guy who can learn from working with their guys. Kind of like Bolton, who's doing really well with New Japan right now.
We had Andre Chase telling Kale and Uriah that they need to calm down and take less risks. So they immediately asked Ava for another match, and she signed him to a 6-man with Dark State. So Andre was outraged. The crowd laughed. Luca and Tony had a meeting. Story here is that Luca showed up on Sunday. It cost Tony the match, but he didn't do anything except stand there. So Tony doesn't trust this guy at all. And he's not an idiot, believe it or not, in wrestling. And Luca's trying to say, there's nothing to it. I didn't want to reach out. Rizzo's in hiding. I didn't want to put people at risk. And Tony goes, this doesn't smell right. And he says, you cost me the match. And Luca said, that's not my intention. You can trust me. And Tony does not trust him. We had a segment with Trick. Comes out as a TNA champion. Trick is great. Says TNA is now Trick NA. He's going to be doing appearances for TNA.
I wonder, did people tip off the crowd because they were training Trick NA before he ever even gave a line?
I don't know. They might have.
Has he talked about it before?
I don't think he has. This was the first I heard of it.
Okay, because the crowd was chanting Trick NA, and then he goes, "I've got this idea for this name," and it's like Trick NA, and it's like these people have already been chanting this. But there you go.
So Santana came out. And, I figured it was going to be Santana versus Trick. I did not figure they were going to announce the match for next week.
Yeah.
I presume a bullshit finish leading to a bigger match.
Well, the deal is...
Or Trick's going up in 2 weeks. One or the other.
No. The deal is that they are going to have Elijah... TNA's got another big show on Friday, I believe it is, but it's next week. It's coming, next week, okay? So they're going to have Elijah wrestle the winner of Trick and Santana. So, maybe it's Trick, but whatever it is, that's the reason they're going to have this. The idea is that TNA's got a match, but it's dependent on the NXT match, and it's cross promotion trying to help both. So that's the idea.
We had Ava meeting with Stephanie, said she needed a tag partner for Worlds Collide. Lola Vice walked up, offered to be her partner. We had Jada.
You know what's so cool about that? You don't know?
I mean,
the only woman from NXT on the poster for that card, besides Stephanie, was Lola Vice.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
Well, she was clearly going to be on the show one way or the other. It's Lola Vice, for crying out loud.
There's no... Why would she be on the show?
Because she's
Cuban.
Hispanic. Cuban?
She's Cuban. Cuban isn't Mexican.
It's Worlds Collide, Dave. We got all sorts
It's AAA.
All of these worlds are colliding.
It's AAA versus WWE.
Well, Stephanie's not Mexican either.
No, but she was a star in Mexico.
Well, Lola's going to be a star in Mexico.
We don't know that.
All right, we had Jada and Tatum Paxley, and this is the usual issue. Jada's supposed to be a heel. Everybody loves her. They're cheering her throughout the entire match. She wins. Thea Hale, who's a babyface, goes after Jada. They boo Thea. It's like, can we turn her already? What's going on here? So anyway, she won. It was not very good. We had a Jasper Troy video package, and then he destroyed Dante Chen.
Sacrificial lamb. I'm amazed that Dante Chen's still there.
Yeah, they told us Dante Chen was the NXT gatekeeper, having won 2 matches in his entire NXT television career in all of his life. He's the gatekeeper.
But I mean, he's been there forever, and they don't do anything with him. Years ago, they tried to do stuff with him. Remember when he was doing the thing with the 1,000-year-old lady and all that? I mean, he was getting a push, and then they just took him off completely.
Yeah.
And it's like usually when they take guys off completely after so many years, they usually get rid of them. I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess they feel that there's still a glimmer of hope here.
So we had an argument with Charlie and Tavion and Miles. And Miles says, I'm ready to go out on my own. Charlie said, you're not. So Miles says, well, what if I beat you? What if I wrestle you? If I win, you let me go. And Charlie said, all right, well, let's make it a rounds match. And I guess that's what they're doing. I didn't know NQCC had ironclad contracts, but apparently they do.
I didn't.
Very difficult to get out of this group.
I didn't understand that there's a slavery issue in this group.
So then
involuntary servitude.
Yes. So then we had Ethan Page come out celebrating his title win that just occurred earlier in the show. He's interrupted by Javon Evans, who alerts him that he will be defending the title at Worlds Collide against himself, Laredo Kid, and Phoenix. Mm-hmm. 4-way.
They were all on the poster too. Not Ethan Page though, but the other ones were all on the poster too.
Yeah. So there you go.
Probably a hell of a match.
Sounds like it.
I mean, seriously, like that's Laredo Kid's super underrated, and obviously Phoenix is great, and probably going to be thrilled to death that he's in a situation where he can shine, and so yeah, it's Javon working in a lucha style is going to be very interesting as well.
We had a hilarious segment.
I guess Ethan working in lucha style might be more interesting now that I think about it.
So Robert and Stevie Turner, Robert Stone and Stevie Turner, they meet with Ava and they go, Ava, hold on a second. Sean Legacy won a triple threat match last week.
Yes, he did.
To get a North American title shot. And you are giving a North American title shot to 3 randos. Like, what's going on? And Ava said, well, I wanted people from many different promotions to get a shot at the North American title.
Okay, cool.
But I didn't forget about Sean, she says. You know what? I'll give him a one-on-one match against a winner from Worlds Collide. And Stevie says, that's perfect. And Ava says, I know. Wow. Tatum's crying about her stupid dolls. Sol and Zarya walk up and offer to be her friend. The culling is watching on. None of this will lead to anything good. And then the main event is Stephanie and JC for the women's title. And are they calling up Booker T with Stephanie? Because he's become part of this act. Like, the fans chant for him whenever she does her spot. They mimic Booker T. I mean, they chant Booker's name. I mean, he's as much a part of Stephanie's act as anybody. And they're going nuts during this match.
He was part of Roxanne and Trick's act, too.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine Trick going up without Booker. Booker may get a call-up out of all of this.
Oh, God, no.
And more money.
No.
Yes.
I do not want to see Booker announce on a 3-hour show.
So the story of this match is Fatal Influence has been teasing a breakup for months now. And so they have a near fight. Jasmine walks out. But then Stephanie puts JC in an armbar in the ropes. Jasmine returns to take the ref. Fallon gives Stephanie a 619 around the post. JC clobbers her with the right hand and pins her.
Yeah. Nobody expected that one.
The crowd freaked out. They did the gimmick of all the matches on Earth. Not like when, Brock Lesnar ended the streak or anything like that. This is the match where the ring announcer is so shocked he cannot do his job. And they have to nudge him. And then he goes, and he announces the winner. Stephanie's in tears of joy to be going up to make tons of money on the main roster. And JC Jane is your new women's champion here in NXT. I thought it was a good show and newsworthy.
It was newsworthy, yeah.
Very newsworthy show.
Yeah.
So that was...
So Saturday is Super Juniors final. It's Yo and Fujita.